What's the scariest thing going on in our world right now that not enough people know or talk about? When Texas flooded during Hurricane Harvey, there were 13 Superfund sites that got hit. A Superfund site is an area where there are hazardous substances or pollutants on a huge scale. A bunch of chemicals got swept away into those floodwaters and no one will know the effect for years. Superbug STDs and other superbug infections. An incurable gonorrhea is now a thing. Damn Coachella. Damn, Coachella almost sounds like an STD name already. Go to Coachella, come back Burning Man. Not the scariest, but a lot of the people who helped clean up the BP oil spill from Horizon are suffering long-term medical issues. Their case has been essentially swept under the rug. The sterilization crisis in the medical device industry and how it impacts our access to safe medical products. And on top of that, how major companies have been off-gassing toxic ethylene oxide gas that has been causing cancer in people who live next to factories for years and no one gave a shit. Prion diseases like chronic wasting syndrome. Thanks for all the anxiety, everyone. This thread basically says that we'll all be fucked by 2050. The insects are dying. And by that the food chain is disrupted and we can say goodbye to a majority of other species. Yep. We are heading for a major extinction event, including many of our food crops. Antibiotic resistance and the overprescribing of them. I don't think this gets talked about nearly enough and it's already a problem. I remember reading an article recently that said in the future antibiotic resistant bacteria related deaths will surpass cancer deaths. It gets worse. There are strains of bacteria in hospitals that are showing evidence of alcohol resistance. Which means that out-cleaning solutions will get much less effective. The collapse of the insect population. Over the past 5-10 years, the insect population in our neighborhood has tanked. No more fireflies, no more bees, no more butterflies. And this year was the first year toads didn't come to our swimming pool and have their orgy. It's terrifying how quickly these changes have taken place. I've definitely noticed a decline in the number of bees and monarch butterflies over the years. I used to see hundreds of both every spring. This year I haven't seen a monarch and only about 20 honeybees. It's crazy to see such drastic changes in less than a decade. In the frozen ice of Antarctica there are really old bacteria. Older than humans. If the ice melts then those bacteria would release, and since nobody is resistant against them, who knows what's gonna happen. I think the scariest thing is that everyone is talking about things that should terrify us, but we're all too apathetic to care. Active, offending, unprosecuted pedophiles actively creating, sharing and exchanging child porn on the dark web. Over 70k active users. That's at least 70,000 people around the world, and that's just one site on the dark web. Edit number 1. Here is the documentary I watched by a YouTuber called Ron Swanson called Hope Dies Here. It's not every one cup of tea, but it highlights some key issues and certain sites on the dark web along with other stuff like how to report sites and things like that. The abnormal decline in insect populations around the world. If the insects die out, our crops won't grow. The entire food chain will collapse when the insects keep declining in biomass, and so will civilization. Between 1 and 2 million people are in concentration camps in China right now because of their origin and religion. Fukushima is still leaking radioactive waste into the Pacific. One of the scariest things happening right now is the number of people who aren't subscribing to this channel. That and the chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.